Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I want to introduce to you guys one of the best chess game in the history. This is the Opera game. The Opera game was an 1858 chess game played at an opera house in Paris, French. The American master Paul Morphy played against two strong amateurs, the German noble Karl II and Duke of Brunswick. Sorry, I don't actually know how to pronounce that. That's a very difficult name to pronounce. Sorry. Now, Paul Morphy with the white pieces played e4 as the first move of the game. Black respond with e5. Now, Paul Morphy developed his knight with the move knight to f3, d6, and d4, striking in the center. Black developed the bishop and pinning the knight with the move bishop to g4, and white takes the pawn with d takes e5. Black takes the knight with the move bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, and d takes e5. And now you can see that the f7 square is very weak, so white developed the bishop and attacking the f7 square with the move bishop to c4. Black defends the f7 square with the move knight to f6, blocking the queen, so the queen cannot take the pawn now. As you can see, the queen cannot just jump ahead of the knight and take the pawn, right? That's not how chess works. So now white played queen to b3, attacking this pawn and lining up with the bishop, attacking the f7 square, which is a very weak square. Like I said, black defends with queen to e7. Now, as you can see, this is a free pawn, like whites can just take this pawn. This is a free pawn, but black can give a check, and now you are forced to trade the queens, and when there's no queens left on the board, it's very difficult for you to attack if you want to attack. So yeah, so that's the reason why white in this position, they don't take the pawn. Instead, Paul Morphy developed his knight with the move knight to c3. But black played c6, and Paul Morphy developed his bishop and pinning the knight to the queen with the move bishop to g5. Black played a very natural looking move, which is b5, attacking the bishop. Now, normally, as a human, we will just gonna retreat the bishop to a random square, right? Because we don't want to lose our bishop. For example, bishop here, right? It's not the best computer move, but it's a very human move because you don't want to lose your bishop. But Paul Morphy is not a normal human. He's a genius. And that's why in this position he played knight takes b5, sacrificing the knight. Black takes the knight because, it's a free knight, right? It's just a free knight, so we're gonna take it. Now, white played bishop take b5, check. Knight d7, blocking the check. And now, how the knight is pinned. The knight is pinned to the king. The knight cannot move. It's an illegal move for the knight to move. So how can you put pressure into a pinned piece? How can you put pressure into the knight on d7? That's right, by long castle. Long castle, adding more and more pressure into the knight on the d7 square. Black defend the knight with the move rook to d8. And the knight is pinned, so white just take it. Rook takes d7. Rook takes d7. And now the rook is pinned again, like the rook, for example, white played a random move. The rook cannot move. The rook cannot move because it's pinned. So in this position, since the rook is pinned, white decided to adding more and more pressure into the rook with the move rook to d1. And now, black thinks that this knight is very difficult to move because it's pinned to the queen, so they played queen to e6, unpinning the knight, so now the knight can move. White played bishop takes d7 check, and now, according to Stockfish, according to the engine, the best move was to sacrificing the queen. Like, that is the only move to survive. But no, black don't want to lose that queen, because if you lose the queen, you just gonna lose the game and resigns. So they played knight takes d7. And let me tell you something. This is a completely blunder. If, for example, you just imagine there's no knight in this position, rook to d8 is checkmate, right? The king cannot take the rook because the bishop is protecting the rook. The king cannot go to e7 because of the bishop is controlling the long dark square diagonal. So rook to d8 is going to be mate if there's not a knight on d8. Oh, sorry, on d7. So how can you remove the knight on d7 square? That's right. You had to play queen to b8 check, sacrificing your whole queen. The only move now for black is knight takes b8. And just like I said, knight takes b8, and now rook there is mate. Rook to d8 is mate, and that is exactly what Paul Morphy played. Rook d8 checkmate. The king cannot take the rook because of the bishop. The king cannot go to d7 because of the rook, and the king cannot go to e7 because of the bishop controlling this long file diagonal. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the opera game. If you say my video is entertaining and good, so please like the video and subscribe to my channel. That means a lot to me. Thank you for watching my video, and see you again on another video on my channel. Goodbye.